I want to talk about a video that I just saw on YouTube. It's going viral right now, and it's actually by this channel called Asian Boss. Have you heard me talk about that channel? It is so good. So it's basically just the like walking the streets. It's they go to Asian countries and basically interview people on the streets to see if stereotypes live up. They uploaded a video that went kind of viral that's called "Underpaid and Overworked Being an Animator in Japan." And since we're talking about animation, I was like, click, and the video, it was incredible. It was like, it was so fun to watch. But first of all, how awkward is bowing in Japan and Korea? Like, at least for me, they, in the beginning when the host meets up with the animator, they bow literally 4 million times.
Oh, seriously?
Like, oh, good. And they half do it, and they half words, and you're like, they need to, like in America, you shake hands or you do something that imply you high five or something. You meet someone for the first time. Nice to meet you.
Whenever I go like my business meetings, I'll just go around the table and like,
I'm the man. I'm the man.
I'm the man.
But yeah,
like, my socks are fucking plummeting, dude. I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man.
You've had fun when you can't even hear him talk. You're just like,
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. So America, it's like instant. The second you see each other, you say hi, you shake hands, you don't bow. But in Korea, obviously, the animator was mainly inspired by Naruto, which I still need to see actually, and I can't wait to start watching, even though it's an endless. And now that I already know that, so she got to work on Boruto, which is the sequel, which is about Naruto's kid, which is insanely popular, obviously. But just the fact that I already know that there's like a sequel of his child, and I haven't even started the first one, I'm like, how far of a mission is this?
Yeah.
Like where am I going with this?
Quest.
So she basically said,
wait, is this the chick that has no money?
Yeah. So that's what's crazy. That's funny that you say that, because you hear Boruto, you're like, oh, she's got to get paid bank for doing that, obviously. But finding animators in Japan, it kind of works the way now that every creative industry works, where like instead of going to college applications and college whatever, they look on Twitter and Instagram. They just find hashtags of like these illustrators. So she's been like trying to be more social media involved, which for anyone in Japan, if you are an animator, you're making no money, hugely recommended. But in terms of pay, YouTubers can make more money. You can make more money just putting up your own videos. You could probably just do like time lapses of you drawing, and that would probably make you more money at the end of a month if you like grew that. So there's always, you kind of have to just look for the commercial opportunities. But the reason I think a lot of them don't is because they're working 15 hours a day. When they're done, they're not thinking like, now how can I use my social media strategy? They're like, good night. One thing that's really cool is that a lot of the animation studios actually share animators. So they're not competing like the way that traditionally they would in America. They're like, here's, you can borrow ours to finish your show. I think at the end of the day, they're mostly about getting it done. And I think all these companies, they also like the upper ups. I don't think they're just these assholes who want to mistreat animators and pay them little money. They're just like, we just don't have the budget, and this is what we want to build. But so the animes are typically hand drawn, or like digitally drawn. So they draw it on the computer. I guess that's not considered hand drawn, but it seems like the same concept. Right. But a typical episode of anime is 3,000 frames. So, but the thing with anime though is like it can be the same walking sequence with nothing changing except for their facial expressions, like their eyes and their mouth. Yeah. So I think in that way, animes are a lot easier than even classic animations in America. But I think we do more digital now than anything. So there's a lot of like CGI involved, which I think is obviously a lot easier in terms of manpower. But she says that she loves the freedom of animation more, and that no matter how hard it is, no matter how many hours she's working, the freedom alone is like worth it. Because in Japan, there's a lot of jobs you could do that you're just stuck in this grind, even if you're making a lot of money. But she said people get so caught up in working that even at these animations, why are you laughing at me?
Is it showing? Sorry, I'm not gonna lie, dude. That fucking song, "I'm the man, I'm the man," is just on repeat in my fucking head right now. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Damn it.
Well, that's good.
I was like, I started smiling. I was like, he's gonna fucking notice. He's gonna fucking notice.
I think
the smallest smile, and you're like, dude,
well, if there's one thing to take away from this podcast is if you can go through your life hearing that song in your head, you're in a really good place.
Yeah.
So she can do an action scene in about a week, which is insane. But she also gets $40 for one cut, which I assume is like a scene. And then that usually takes about half a day, which is pretty crazy.
40 bucks?
Yeah, $40 for one cut, which is half a day's of work. $40.
What did she do? She did Attack on Titan?
She doesn't do Attack on Titans, but she just does drawing. She just does animations. Like, this is like Boruto is a good example of when she was working on Boruto. So here's how much money she makes. She, at first, when she was actually signed to a studio, she was getting $500 a month on salary. So she dipped out to do freelance, and she started making, and it dropped $200. So she started making $300 a month on freelance.
Oh, shite.
Yeah, worked her ass off, and now she makes $500 a month again.
Yo.
So think about this. She works 15 hours a day, doesn't take any days off. She spends about $3 on food per day. So $100 a month. Which, by the way, when I was in California and on food stamps, I was getting like $150 a month. So I was getting paid more on American welfare than she makes from her job. But here's the thing that's really random. Her rent is only $150 a month.
Holy hell.
Because she lives in a building that makes money by crowdfunding and getting people to help donate money on behalf of the animators that live in the building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the future of animation will probably be, at least in terms of getting paid, since there just is no money in it. Like, there's nothing they can do. They're just they pay most of their money.
Just the market.
Yeah, and they pay most of their money on marketing, like literally to like put out commercials and stuff. Which like there's better ways to do it. I feel like if they just paid like big social media people, you know, $1,000 to be like, can you promote? I mean, people do it for free. If they hit up like animators who on YouTube, like they'll get crazy love for a show, and it would be free. Like they would just be like, oh, thanks for talking to me, great.
That's wild, man.
It's insane.
That's so unfortunate. I mean, like I totally get that. Most of the money goes to the marketing, because marketing is what sells your product. Totally. I feel like a lot of those places, I don't know dick about animation stuff, but I feel like those places, they probably divert a lot of money, like you said, to the marketing. Their staff for marketing is probably like a lot of people, and their actual animators and the people who do the illustrations or whatever. I feel like it's kind of like a maybe not exactly understaffed, but just like not as many people as you'd imagine. Like there's not a whole like fucking floor dedicated to animators.
No, well nowadays it's a lot of places are really freelance. So like a lot of places it's just people all over the world creating these animations. And in Japan, I mean, if you think about how much these people can get paid, in my head I'm like, I don't know if this is a good thing, and I'm sure America wants to keep the money within America, but I'm like, couldn't America just hire these animators for a little bit more money?
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
I mean, because American animators, that's the thing. Like, there's so much money in media, in American media. I mean, I say that, but then again, a lot of actors even say, like, if you're not in, like, a big-ass movie, you're not getting paid bank. Like, it's not as crazy as you think. Unless you're, like, an extra in Avengers. Obviously, they'll pay you, like, probably, like, $20,000 just to stand there or something, you know? Yeah. But, yeah. And
what do you think's bigger? Do you think anime is bigger in America, like, with total numbers, or bigger in Japan?
I would almost think America by the sheer size of
the
country.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, Texas alone is like bigger than most other countries.
Yeah.
So.
Because I kind of think like, because in the same boat, I didn't want to sound ignorant, because I mean, I just don't know. Like,
I don't either, really, but yeah.
I feel like it sounds so American saying this too. Like, I mean, you kind of always reflect things you hear about, like, okay, yeah, if that's happening like in Japan and animators only getting paid that much, like, you kind of had to think like, oh, they would get paid so much more here.
But yeah, even in my head, I was thinking like, if I made a little animation, I'd pay her $1,000 to make me like something that I'm hyped on. That probably would only take her 2 days.
Yeah, and can you even like imagine like the resume? Like I mean, if like again, I don't know shit about animation, but if I like say owned some kind of company, and I saw her resume and I was like, oh, you worked on the animation for Boruto. Oh, damn.
There's no, like, that's it.
Holy shit.
You don't need to know anything else. You're like, okay, if you're good enough for a show that's that huge and requires that much to get in, then you're gooch to gotch.
Yeah, gooch to gotch. In Korea, whenever I visited, like, you know, our cousin, you know, every time he bowed to, like, he always bowed to, like, the elderly, right?
Yeah.
He bowed so many fucking times. You know, he was like, annyeonghaseyo, annyeonghaseyo. Like, he was like, he was like remixing,
dude.
Like, dude, he bowed so many times, and he would like change angles. Like, he was like a sprinkler. He's like, just going around the room. Yeah, it was wild. How much sweating? He's sweating, dude. I'm sweating too,
so
man.
much from laughing so much. I'm sweating from sweating so much, is what I just said. The more I sweat, the more I sweat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, God, I'm never gonna talk about this video. All right, so first of all, I think the best part. This isn't the best part. Why did I say it?
Just like at this point, you're just like
Monday.
throwing words out.
Yeah. Just
On a side note.
Just to, it's like the main point. On a side note, this video.